Hi, welcome everybody to the next episode of Soul Science. I'm Pamela and Ezell with teaching people quantum physics, applied quantum physics. And this is Jeff Fannin, Dr. Jeff Fannin, who is a genius in his knowledge base, his scientific
yes,
knowledge base.
I'm a legend in my own mind. So, yeah, one of those kinds of things. But I'm Dr. Jeffrey Fannin, and I love working with Pamela here. And the stories and the fun that we have in putting this stuff out there and living our own lives and watching this stuff come about is just not only joyful, but it's very uplifting. And I can hardly wait to get up each day. And sometimes, like this morning, I got up at 2:30. But I was fully rested and got hydrated and had my egg drink and stuff like that, and just got going for the day. But it's just um, if you put that wonderment out there about what's going to happen today, what experiences am I going to have that contributes to exactly what we're talking about and the things that we're teaching other people, I think that is so marvelous. Instead of, oh, I got to do my laundry today and I probably should wash my sheets, and you know uh, stuff like that is not a chore to me anymore,
Uh-uh.
because I look forward to the other kinds of situations that come up, or things I'm going to learn, or things that are going to be exposed to me. Just a lot of wonderment going on in my world. I just love it.
Well, it's so contagious, don't you think so, Jeff?
Oh, absolutely. And I get around other people. And the thing that's kind of interesting to me is how the people who are not in that vibrational space are beginning to fall away from my world, that you just don't hear from them anymore. We're on a different path, we're on different places. And so it's about how am I going to live my life today? Even though I may not know what's going to go on, but we've used this analogy many times about taking our boat down to the stream, and so maybe I'll let you introduce what we're going to talk about here.
Okay, sure. One of the things that you were talking about, people dropping away, is that it is actually scientific law and eternal law that you start to resonate and vibrate and start to organize and come together. You can see it, and people will go together in different groups according to what they are desiring to learn and master about at that time. So we're not judging anyone. We're not like, it's just that maybe you've mastered some things, they've mastered things that you haven't, but they're mastering other things that you have. And so you're just not interested in learning about that over and over and over. You would like to get fresh stuff, fresh stuff happening for you. Today
Right.
we're
There's
going to
a
learn.
lot of scientific papers that I've read about how that vibration happens. And I think one of the most startling ones that I read many, many years ago, and it's cited a lot of times, is that if you take a bunch of women and you put them all in the barracks, and this would happen in the military, that
Right.
their
And
menstrual
nursing.
cycles within 30 days would all begin to sync. And I have a video someplace where you have these two balls, and but you'll get them all going one way or things like that. There are things out on YouTube that help understand that synchronicity and
Right.
what goes on, and the fact that that is one of these quantum laws, universal laws that are out there, that the vibrations, and we get flowing with that vibration, and that's
Right.
what helps us feel so good about all of those things.
And if you hang on to a relationship or a situation or a job or other things, and you're just feeling more and more and more and more miserable with it, let it go, because there's something else that's opening up that you're going to be, that it's supposed to open up for you. Step through those portals, step over those thresholds and go into them, because that you've already mastered this portion and you're ready for the new adventure. We're here to come to this earth plane to learn and master things and to be able to become harmonious with everything and everyone in our lives and to learn from each other. So we learn from it and then we kind of break up and we go in other clusters and we break up and go into other clusters, and you can still stay in touch with everybody if you would like to. But if it's bringing on only painful stuff, it's really time to let go. It's really time. And it's
Right.
okay. It's okay. So today we're going to be talking about floating your boat gently down the stream of life. And
Yeah, we have to sing that merrily, merrily.
you betcha, baby. So
Okay, all
all
right.
of us, all of us know these eternal laws, and I'm just here to help you know how to activate it in your daily life so you can be blessed from it. Now, even as a little child, uh, and you already know that I started learning these things at 3, but I knew this song. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Okay, break it down, break it down.
Yeah,
That is how it tells you how to live your entire life. I
yeah,
mean, it gives you everything. So these laws are so simple. And basically, it's like throw out the oars because people will get in the stream of life and invariably they'll start rowing madly upstream. Okay, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. And
yeah.
force
No
it and
pain,
make it.
no gain, kind of thing.
Yeah, all of that is just hooey, a bunch of hooey. So
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
trying to make it happen. That's a 4-letter word. We talked about 4-letter words. I'm going to make it happen. That's not satisfying because if you look to the side of the stream, you're not making progress. You're not creating progress in your life and you're really wearing yourself out. And then you'll say, oh crap, and that's a 4-letter word.
yeah.
you just
Been there,
you
done
just
that
lay
many
down in your
times.
boat and I can't do this. I can't do this. This is not satisfying because
Well, and what's amazing to me is we think we are supposed to do that. Where did
that's
that
right.
come from? You know, I have no idea, but I know that I lived a lot of my life that way,
Yeah,
toughing it out and,
right.
um, doing what you have to do, even though you don't like it. I can remember my mother saying things like that,
Yeah.
you may not want to do it, but you have to do it. And
And that's a 4-letter word.
it
Have.
is have,
Have to do it. That's a
yeah,
4-letter word. Yeah. So what happens is you finally exhaust yourself and you lay back in your in the stream of life, in this boat, your body in the stream of life, because you truly do not have any more energy left. And then what happens? Which direction do you start floating your body in the stream of life? You
what,
gently down the stream. The,
yeah.
the song says it, the direction you're supposed to go gently. That's the attitude you're supposed to have. That's the effort you're supposed to be putting out, is to go gently down the stream of life. So float, float, float your body gently down the stream of life. And what's your attitude supposed to be?
Lightning.
Because
Yeah, but I think we subscribe to that other theorem, the other side of the equation, thinking that's what we're supposed to do. That's how life is supposed to be lived. And we don't take that moment. I remember we talked in one of the other segments about standing in the middle of your hurricane.
yeah,
You can take your boat down to the stream and start paddling, but all you're doing is getting buffeted, by the edges of the hurricane instead
right.
of using your awareness. What am I supposed to learn? What am I supposed to be? And making a conscious choice
Right.
about what am I feeling right now and what do I want to have instead of what I'm feeling now.
What do I prefer to have? What would I
Right.
love to have? What would just bring me such joy? Yeah, yeah. So as you're floating down the stream of life, my question was, what's the attitude that we're supposed to have as we're floating down the stream of life? That attitude is merrily, but evidently, whoever was creating that song was directly inspired by those who created us, because they said 4 times, merrily, 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 merrily. Merrily is a really important thing. Your feelings will dictate how your life is going to go. And if you're not having a jiggy joy, merrily good time, you're disconnected from those that created worlds without end, and you're not commanding with godly powers.
Right.
So, and you're like, well, how can you have this jiggy Sally Sunshine? merely attitude in this world with all the stuff around it? And I, the answer is the very last statement, because this life is but a dream. It is not the main reality.
Right.
And that's how you can do it. When you start tapping into these quantum physics fields and start to be able to converse and actually hear the promptings that you're receiving from the divine, they just smooth everything out. They make everything really wonderful, and they make it an adventure, a place filled with joy inside your being. There is the reason why I'm laughing all the time and smiling all the time, is because I'm connected to them. And that's how I genuinely am feeling. None of this is put on. Anybody who knows me knows that I can find a way to find humor in everything. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it is. Uh, but I like the idea, if we stop and take a moment, how am I feeling right now? And if I don't like what it is where I'm at, what can I do in this moment? Because we can't go to the future, we can't go to the past. We only have this moment right now that we can deal with. What is it that I want right now?
Well, first of all, this moment is your present.
Right.
Unwrap the ribbons and enjoy it. Savor it, because you're being blessed everywhere you step your foot and look around. You're being blessed. And when you start tapping into that, it really is helpful. The other thing is we will learn in future podcasts how to breathe. If you feel discouraged, if you feel depressed, if you feel suicidal, if you feel anxious and full of panic attacks and things like that, sometimes it's simply because you're not breathing right, or sometimes your body is toxic and inflamed, and all of those things affect these wonderful feelings inside your body that you can be able to have. So let's just talk about the stream of life a little bit more. And that is, this stream of life is moved by those who created worlds without end for you. And they will move it as fast or slow as you would like, because sometimes it's a lot of fun going through the rapids. Yeah, that little tickle in your tummy and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes you'd like to just kind of go to the side and kind of have this like really soft, languid moment where you just can see remotely the sunlight coming through trees, leaves and things like that, and just really bask in that. And other times, we're really interested in just wringing out every little bit of information and going over maybe to the side and kind of going around and readdressing things that you'd like to learn more about. And then at any time, it doesn't mean you have to stay there. It's like a little eddy going around in circles.
Yeah.
And at any time, you can be able to easily kick or move your way a little bit and get back into that stream of life. So you're never stuck. You're
Yeah.
never stuck.
Yeah,
So,
I remember when I was an explorer scout, and we were getting ready to, yeah, float the Salt River and so forth, and so we ended up getting, I can't remember exactly how many, it was that long ago, of a bunch of canoes that needed repair, from one of these places where you could, rent a canoe and go out and paddle around, but it needed a little bit of repair, and so we took it on as a project to repair these canoes and get them ready to float down the rapids and stuff. So I understand what you're saying, having had that experience of the exhilaration of going through the rapids. But later on, when I was a pilot and flying people down into the Grand Canyon to ride the rapids and so forth, and you get that tingling in your stomach and so on, the feelings and the emotions of, and then once you get the other side of the rapids, the exhilaration of, whoa, that was great, let's do
yeah,
that one again, you
that
know.
was a rush.
Yeah. So I guess it's one of those, but if I had to have that over and over and over again, um, it would get old in a hurry. So we need to have that balance, where we are able to flow off to the side, or to have more time and more space to feel more comfortable, so that our emotions are helping us get up here. And then we also allow them to come down again without being negative. So there's a big difference there,
Right.
isn't there?
It is, and come on, let's all admit it. I mean, look inside of you. Don't you love variety? Why do you think we've were provided seasons So, because after a while in summer, you really look forward to summer and the swimming and the fun and the sunshine and things like that. But wow, after a while, it's like, wow, autumn is beautiful and the change of that. And then winter, oh my goodness, the wonderland of winter, and then spring and it's new birth. And so we love variety. And those that created these worlds without end understood that. In fact, we had a portion of input, a big portion of input of what we would like in this world before we ever came here. So the same thing in your personal adventure in life. It's important to have variety. It's important to also have a variety of people in your life and different personalities and characteristics so that you can be able to say, oh, wow, I really value that strength and that information this person has. And I'm happy that they have been able to glean this and have this bless them in their lives. And I would like to have that too. It's so important that we're not filled with any kind of feelings of jealousy or envy, because that will slam the door on you from being able to have whatever you would like to see happen in your life and rapidly create. So
Right.
that's what we're told. Don't have those feelings. Stay
Well,
open
yeah,
and
the indigenous
celebrate each other.
tribes around the world have known this for, the seasons, and being able to respect, all of the seasons, and being able to have growth and rebirth, and, the summer, the winter, fall, all of those things, so that we have that variety. We've known this for thousands and
Right.
thousands of years, and yet we still take it for granted sometimes. So I think you're making a very, very important point there.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. But I appreciate your recognizing that background from other places in the world. And I highly value diversity in everything. I love diversity. I love people from different cultures and even how their bodies are constructed with the different varieties of how their body, their hair, their skin, their everything about them, their muscle, the muscle and the skeletal structures. They're so beautifully created, they're so beautifully created, and they're so perfect for their life environment that they chose to come into to express themselves in this world. I'd like to share a story because it's kind of like, well, okay, how do you float your boat gently down the stream with a merry attitude? And I'd like to share a story that I had happen last week. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. So you had shared how you prepare yourself in the morning with a previous episode. And you know that that's what I really, really encourage people to do is get up in the morning, start hydrating. Well, first of all, do your meditation before you ever even get out of bed and start hydrating and doing things to converse with the divine and say precisely what you'd love to see happen. Be bold. Don't be Nancy Pansy about it. Stop and listen to the feelings that you start receiving in return, because they're ready to answer you right then and help you have your day be amazing. So I got up and I did all the things that I was to do and did my meditations and stuff, but I still go and actually physically pray with the divine every day, and then I carry this communication with them throughout the day. I don't just don't say that's it. I carry it with me throughout the day, and they are constantly sharing and giving me information, which is wonderful. In this particular morning, I got up and I was looking around at how beautiful everything was, and the the blue skies, everything that was happening, and then I realized, oh my gosh, it's really dry around here. I'm going to water the trees. That was the feeling I got. Make sure you start watering some of these trees around here. And so I said, sure, I'll do that. The next thing I was recognizing is that my husband takes 2 hours to drive up and see me in the mountains where I'm developing this retreat area. And then he drives 2 hours back, and he's working and driving a lot when he's working for the courts and attorneys and all these people that he does. He works for all over the United States and even in other world countries. And I thought I'd like to have more quality time with him. That would be so wonderful. So I said I'd like for my husband to be able to have an office in Sierra Vista, which is only half an hour away from where we are in the mountains. And how wonderful would that be? So, and I finished up and I asked the divine, do you have anything you'd like to share with me? And immediately said, it's done. We've got your back covered. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I just go on with my day. So I'm not forcing it. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just having these wonderful days of I'm creating in the mountains. And before I could even walk down into the area I was creating, I get this phone call, and it's from my husband. He goes, "Hey, baby, would you like to start over again?" I'm like, "Well, I'm game for anything. Sure, open. I'm open to receive what you'd like for us to do. If my baby's happy, I'm happy." So he said, "Well, I called this woman to do our papers, to help us with serving our papers, our legal papers in Cochise County, and that's where we're developing this retreat." And she turned the tables on me and she said, "No, how about I just close my doors and give you my business in
Oh,
Sierra Vista, the same city I was just asking about him working in."
yeah, amazing, amazing.
Yeah, but the thing is he says, "You already found our office 6 months ago, because as we were driving down Fry Boulevard, you looked to the left because that was what I was impressed to do. And you said, 'Oh, we're supposed to have an office over there in that area.' There's going to be an office over there in that area, because every single one of us has the gift of prophecy. I definitely do, but you can too. And if you're not doing it, you're just not exercising your ability, but you have the ability to do this." So then on this last weekend, we decided to go into Sierra Vista and get something to eat, and also just check out that office area that I found 6 months earlier. We never even checked it out. I just said, "There's where the office is going to be." He looked at the address that this woman had her office, and it was the exact same office,
Oh,
400 Fry
wow,
Boulevard.
wow,
Okay,
that's
so this is my
incredible.
point. This is my point. How hard did I have to work on that? I just floated down my boat. I stayed merrily. I trusted they heard me. These are divine gods. They hear perfectly, they remember perfectly, and they say yes to everything we asked for. So, what are you looking at? If you're looking at drama and chaos, they're going to say, "Yes, you may have more of
Yeah, and I've had that happen to me.
that."
Years ago, the place that I had my office, they were going to sell the building to some other people, and so the timing just happened at the end of my lease there, and so I was thinking, well, I wonder if I will go somewhere else, but the landlords didn't want to negotiate the rent for what I was willing to pay. And so I thought, okay, well, I guess this is a clear signal for me to go somewhere else. So that very same day, I'm driving over to Costco, and right across the street from Costco, it's like this building was talking to me or beckoning me in to
Yeah.
come in, and it's called the Atrium. And you walk in the front doors, and it's all of this. It's 4 stories high, but it has all of these foliage of palm trees and water features and stuff. It's like
Wow.
the minute I walk through the door, it's like, okay, this is where it's at.
Yeah.
Now that's not the amazing part of the story. So I go over to the manager's office and wondering if they had any space available. And honest, this is the true story, that as I asked if they had any space available, they said, just 5 minutes ago, we had somebody that decided they were going to cancel, and it was on the first floor. And they showed me the office, and it was exactly what I was looking for, you know. And so I was in that office for about 5 years and so forth. But it was a great place, and looking out, on the first floor and seeing the palm trees, and you could hear the water features. I just loved it there until it had used up its time, and then it was time for me to go. And I knew that,
You can
right
feel
at the end, it was like it was time for me to go,
it.
and so then I went somewhere else after that. So that does
Wow.
happen, even if
Dang.
you're like me and you're trying to paddle upstream, but if you're paying enough attention, you know, to what's going on around you, those conditions will occur. Like you say, even if I'm not thinking about it, I was getting the guidance, the broadcast was happening, and I just happened to be in tune with it.
And see, I love that, Jeff, because that you've already been feeling this way, you've been following it, and the difference between this, and this is what's so important for everyone listening to this great story that you just shared, is that there's a difference between having faith or or a belief that you can have this happen to you in your life, in your daily life. It's just not every once in a while, it's your daily life. And then actually taking action, just making that gentle movement. It isn't like rolling up your shirt sleeves and sweating to death. It's like, just take some movement. Just
Right.
take some movement and go with how the flow is, gently down the stream of what you're feeling, instead of fighting to go upstream to try to force those people to be okay with the rent that you're willing to pay. No, you're right. It had served its time. It was time for you to move forward and do this. And within 5 minutes, that weaving together of that perfect
Right.
synchronicity and that feeling of harmony, your whole body could feel this is right. And then when it
Well,
was time to leave, you could feel, oh, this now it's time to leave because you have another adventure. You've mastered that area in your life, and it's time for another adventure. And that's
yeah.
beautiful.
Well,
And
and
it's just,
it's, you know,
you have this.
any other day, I might have just driven right past it, which I did all the time because it was on the way to where I live.
Uh-huh.
So every day I would drive past it, but on that particular day, I felt the
Yeah.
vibrations like it was calling to me,
Yeah.
and I pulled in the parking lot, and the rest is history. Yeah.
So you can see, like everybody else that's listening here, if you really are listening to what we're sharing with you, and none of this is orchestrated, we are just letting this flow. I didn't have any idea that Jeff was going to share this story with me, but it really does underscore the fact that every single one of us have been doing this. You can just do it more successfully every single day if you say
Right.
yes to it and stay awakened to the whisperings that you're getting from that divine source that adore you and is constantly giving you what you're asking for by the attention that you're giving to things in your life. So you can either float your boat gently down the stream, or you can get knocked out to the edge of your hurricane and get beat up.
Well,
It's totally
been
up
there,
to you.
done that, and it's much easier if you go with the flow.
Yeah, yeah. So again, you can read about that. I believe on my book. I think I might have that. It is in my book, uh, Mindset of Miracles on Amazon. But do allow yourself to just play with this. Just play with this. Okay,
Yeah.
Jeff.
Well, I want to thank everybody for taking time to watch this segment of soul science and begin to think about some things maybe differently than you would have thought about them before. But more importantly, take action on them. Stay in tune to what's going on in your world. And, you examine how you're feeling, what the vibration is, and you'll know what to do, because it's that inner guidance that you're getting in order to take the steps, take the action that is necessary.
So share it with others. It might be just what they're looking for.
Exactly. And don't forget to click on the subscribe button down here below, and so that you'll be alerted to when we have another soul science podcast. We'll see you next time.
We adore you guys. Love you, Jeff.
Love
Thank you so
too.
much.
Bye.
Bye bye.